Alright, how's it going? Finally getting around to doing the Q&A video today. Before I get started with the questions though, I did just want to say thank you again for all those awesome comments you guys left on the last, I don't know, what do you call it, like the Q&A teaser video? The video I posted a couple days ago asking for questions. It really means a lot to me, so yeah, just want to say thank you again. Secondly, you guys left a lot of comments and questions on that video. So I'm going to try and answer some of the more common questions along with just a couple random ones that I felt like answering. So if I didn't get to your question, I do apologize. I may do another one of these in the future. So there's always that. But for the most part, I just chose most of the common ones and a few that I just felt like answering. So getting into the questions now, the first one is from Sergeant Rock, and he asks, which do you prefer, Clone Wars show or Rebels? And that's easily Clone Wars, by far. Absolutely love that show. I haven't watched a lot of Rebels, and that's sort of because I watched a couple episodes and I really just was not a fan. It does, I don't know, there's just something off-putting about it. I couldn't really get into it. I think a lot of it has to do with the art style, I think, honestly. It's off-putting to me. I definitely don't like it. So yeah, easily the Clone Wars by far, especially like the last two seasons. Or probably like the last three seasons, honestly. They're just awesome. So the second question is from the Dark Hero, and he asks, do you buy death sticks? No, I do not, but I do dabble in the Ewok and Wookiee pelt trade. Very profitable. So the third question is from, sorry if I mispronounced your name, Zaid Sammy. What made you play Star Wars Battlefront 2 mods all the time for your YouTube channel? Honestly, nothing. It was really random how it sort of happened. I honestly just randomly did it once and had a lot of fun, and it sort of just went from there. Like, it was never something I planned on doing, like for YouTube, but I had fun, and so I've just stuck with it ever since. Honestly, so it's pretty simple. So now we have a couple questions from the Emperor himself. The first of which is, why did you choose to become my apprentice, or why did you join the dark side? That's a pretty easy answer, because you'd probably force lightning me in the balls if I didn't. Second question is, which Star Wars character is your favorite one? That's a really tough question. I think I'd have to say Obi-Wan Kenobi, just because I love how he's just a smart ass all the time. He just has a great comic relief to him. But he also has a great story himself. Like, I love his backstory. That's definitely a hard question, though, because there's a couple clones, like Fives and Rex and all that, you know. Some typical Star Wars, the Clone Wars fan, just bullshit. But, yeah, I think I'd have to go with Obi-Wan Kenobi. Next question is from Lord Rainey, and he asks, what is your favorite mod of all time? That's another really tough question. And it's one that's probably going to end up changing, I'm sure. There's tons of mods I still haven't played. But as of right now, it's probably Battles of the Storm. It's a campaign mod. I think it was 5 parts. And it's just so much fun. Like, I love campaign mods, and it's easily one of the best I've played. The only other ones that have really sort of lived up to Battles of the Storm is probably the Eldora campaign. That's a lot of fun too. But for me, Battles of the Storm holds a slight edge over it, just because there's a little bit more to it. But yeah, that's another tough question. Next question is from Elias Ulseth. I hope I said that right. His question is, what would be your dream Star Wars game? Now, this is actually an easy question. It'd just be a remastered Battlefront 2. Yeah, this is it. It's almost already my dream Star Wars game. Just modern graphics. If it was remastered in something like the Unreal Engine, I'd easily do it for me. Honestly, this game's almost close to perfect for me. Next question is from Business Bill, and he asks, "Why is my name Kryo?" Really, no reason. It's just a random name I came up with a couple years ago. And I just sort of kept it. Really, no meaning behind it or anything like that. It sort of is my sort of gamer tag. He has another question, and he asks, "Is that your actual name?" No, it is not. That's That'd be kind of a crazy name to be born, to be given though upon birth. But yeah, no, it is not my actual name. Next question is from Everything Guy 2000, and he asks, "What is your favorite episode arc in the Clone Wars TV show?" That's another really tough question, but I think it'd have to be the Umbara arc, just because it had such an emphasis on the clones, and it also had some of my favorite clones of the series in it. Like Hard Case, I absolutely love. He's hilarious and was a complete badass. But he also had like Fives and a couple other ones like Jesse and Tup. They're cool too. I also love that it had a lot of emphasis on Rex and like his actual like character. That was really cool. And that scene with Pong Krell when he was killing the clones, that was so well animated. I loved it. It felt so much like a movie. Yeah, I think it's have to be the Umbara arc. Next up, we have a couple questions from Ben Jones. First of which is, where are you from? I am from Ontario, Canada. Second question is, how did you discover Battlefront 2? Basically, when it first came out on the... What did I have it on? I think the PSP, the little handheld thing. I had that as a kid, and I played the absolute shit out of that. I absolutely loved it. And then, when I first got into like PC gaming, it was one of the first games I ever bought on the PC, and I've just been playing it ever since. Like, I'd play it on and off, obviously. I haven't been playing it for all these years straight. Yeah, I mean, I've got quite a few hours in this game now. Number 3 is, what are your computer specs? The main ones, I have, i5 6600K overclocked to 4.2 gigahertz, GTX 970, looking to upgrade that rather soon. Not like I need to play Battlefront 2, but I do play other games. That would definitely help for playing Skyrim, that's for sure. All the rest of the specs are pretty arbitrary. Those are like the main 2 factors. I think I have an Asus, Z170E motherboard. I have 3 SSDs, one being a 240 gigabyte, I think, from Crucial. I think another 200 something gigabyte Samsung Evo, and I think I have a 500 something gigabyte one from AData. I forget what series that's from, but that's sort of the main stuff. Yeah, I might actually add that to my channel description, because I do get a lot of questions about that. I don't know if anyone would actually bother looking there, but yeah, those are my PC specs. Next question is from N Klon, and he asks, what is your favorite game and what aspects do you most enjoy about it? So this may come as a bit of a surprise, but Star Wars Battlefront 2 is not my favorite game. That would have to be Mount & Blade Warband. Although the original Rome Total War would have to be up there too. I think I have just about the same amount of hours in both those games, probably at least 3,000 in each. Yeah, those are 2 of my favorite games of all time. To me, like for me, they're tied. But he also asked what aspects do I enjoy about it. In the case of Mount & Blade, it's just the absolute freedom to do whatever you want. You can start your own kingdom. You can just be a bandit if you want to. You can join a kingdom, like help them conquer the world. And there's a ton of mods for it, just like Battlefront 2. Like the vanilla game is set in a world called Calradia, just fantasy. But there's so many mods that turn the game into different settings. Like I actually have a couple series, really cringy series of Mount & Blade Warband up on my channel. But like one is on a mod that has like a giant map of Europe and even parts of Asia, and it's incredibly realistic. It's so cool. And then another one is a Game of Thrones mod, just recreates the world of Game of Thrones. And there's tons of other stuff like that. Like there's Star Wars mods for it, and you can do whatever you want. It's so much fun. Lord of the Rings mods too, those are great. When it has to do with Rome Total War, it's one of my favorite strategy games of all time. It's just, there's a balance about it. Like, there's like overpowered units and all that stuff in that game, just like any game. It has its flaws. But even if you were up against an army of, I don't expect any of you guys to actually know this game. It is quite old. But there's units called Urban Cohorts and Praetorian Cavalry. That's all people would spam because they were the strongest units. But you could still go ahead and pick yourself a random sort of army and still win because you use better strategies. Like, there's always a way to win, even if your army was worse. Like, you actually had to be good at playing the game. And I think I just love that about it. Plus the setting helps. You start in like pre-Marian Rome, and then you just keep going basically. Then you go through the Marian reforms if you're playing as Rome, but sort of like that time period. So much fun. It's one of my favorite time periods of history. Next question is from, sorry if I mispronounced your name, Janko Drakic. He asks, what got you into YouTube? And this sort of ties into the last question. Has a lot to do with the game Rome Total War. The first ever time I ever was on YouTube, like watching videos for the first time, I ended up stumbling upon a guy named Prince of Macedon, and I just binged watched his videos. He made a ton of videos on the original Rome Total War and still does to this day. And I just would watch his videos of multiplayer battles all day long, and I thought it was wicked. And I even started a YouTube channel when I was a kid and started making Rome Total War videos, and they were just absolutely terrible. But yeah, that channel doesn't exist anymore, by the way. But that's what got me into YouTube. Just watching his videos got me hooked, which then sort of led me on to other Total War YouTubers, and then it just all went from there. Everything started with Total War for me, though, basically. Next question is from Gravity Strikes, and he asks, will you ever do any live streams playing with viewers on Battlefront 2, maybe modded, or have you thought about making a Discord? So that is a yes to both those questions. I would love to do both. At the moment, I barely even have time to make the videos that I do make. So if I had tried to throw live streams in there or had to try and manage a Discord, there would be a sharp drop off in actual videos. But that's definitely something I want to do in the future. If I ever get more free time, I would love to do both of those. Live streams would probably come before a Discord. Just 'cause I don't really use a Discord app too much. It is a good app though, but yeah, I would definitely love to do both if I get the time. All right, next up we have a couple questions from Accidental. First of which is, how did you get into Battlefront on YouTube? Just covered that. Second of which is, are there other games that you enjoy, genres, titles, etc.? Somewhat covered that. Obviously, like I said in the last few questions, love Rome Total War, love Mountain Blade Warband. I love the entire Total War series pretty much, except for the newest one that just came out, Warhammer. Did not like Warhammer at all. That's the first Total War game I did not like. Is there something different about it? Like, I like the setting. The Warhammer setting's really cool. Just the gameplay itself, I just I don't enjoy it. It's weird. It's just different. Third question is, what do you do for a living? So I drive a forklift, and it sucks. Next question is, do I have any hobbies? Yeah, I have a couple hobbies. I love to work out. It's sort of addicting once you sort of get started. It's good fun. I also like, obviously, playing video games. Video games is a hobby for me. I also play a lot of golf. I know that's not the coolest thing, but I like it, and yeah. Anyways, he has one more question that is cut off there, and he asks, have you seen my engraved Ring of Healing? No, I have not. You might want to check back in Morrowind for that one. So I don't actually have a little screenshot for this next question, but it's one that I get all the time on a daily basis. And it is, what are my impressions of EA's new Battlefront 2? Honestly, I'm pretty excited for it. I don't know if I should be or not. I was pretty excited for the last Battlefront as well, but I definitely don't like that game. It's quite shit in my opinion. I mean, if you take it for what it is, just like an arcadey shooter set in the Star Wars universe with some good graphics, then I guess it's alright. But being a fan of the old Battlefront 2, it was definitely a big letdown for me. And yeah, so the new one, I watched the trailer, like I watched that live. I watched the live gameplay. it definitely looks a lot better than the last game. And even just having like the Clone Wars era in it is already a major improvement for me. But honestly, it's kind of hard to answer that question. I mean, I'm not really gonna have a good impression of the game until I actually play it. So that's sort of what I think at the moment, at least. I also get the question a lot, am I going to be making videos on it? And that is a yes, I will. Not sure what kind of content I will make, because that game probably won't exactly fit my style of video too well. If I just basically upload random gameplays of matches, like online matches, that's not really gonna, that doesn't really suit my channel too well, I don't think. But yeah, if you have any like suggestions for what kind of videos you want to see, let me know. I definitely don't want to be making like guides on classes and stuff. That just doesn't interest me at all. I'm sure there's tons of people that would want to see that stuff, but like again, this is a hobby for me, and if I'm not enjoying it, then I don't want to do it. If that makes sense. So sorry if you want to see that sort of content. I might make little tips and trick videos here and there if I feel like it. But I definitely don't want to make like full-on class guides or anything like that. It's just not something that I'd really like to do. Anyways, that's gonna do it for my first Q&A video. Hope you enjoyed. If I didn't get to your question, I am sorry. I may be doing another one of these in the future, so look out for that if you want your question answered. Definitely just tried to get a lot of the common ones out of the way. Might do some more sort of specific ones in the next one whenever I do it. But that's gonna do it for the video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.